So one of the responsibilities I want our community to understand is you have a responsibility to question things. If things don't make sense, you need to challenge it. Look at the great people we remember in history. Many of them we remember because they challenged the current status quo. And that was a responsibility, right? Martin Luther King, very educated, very well respected in the world, right? Whites at the time, African Americans at the time, like he had a platform. What if he'd have chose to not share his message and only focus on himself? He'd have probably been wealthier.
Probably wouldn't have been shot.
Might not have gotten murdered. But what would the world have lost out on? Somebody speaking out for other people's freedoms and speaking up on a wrong, which is just a bigger example of the one you gave, right? Two people fighting. I could or not involved. Like I don't have a responsibility there if I don't want to. But as I look around the world, and it seems like we're constantly spinning and being sold darkness and fear. One of the responsibilities we have is to question things and to ask ourselves, is this real? And I'm not saying COVID's not real, but what I am saying is what are we like over a year into this whole deal? And a lot of people got vaccinated, which is fine. And they're still getting sick. And they were wearing masks and they're still wearing masks and they're still getting sick. So question, is that true?
Mm-hmm. And what's the opportunity cost, right? What like you have an ability to respond to these things. You have your responsibility. So I'll give an example. We invited 2 different neighbors that we see when we're walking the dog to come over for dinner. The first one, she was really excited. She was so grateful. While we were in Guatemala, she took out our trash and collected our mail. And we're like, you know what, we're going to make dinner for her. She was really excited all week to come over. And then she asked us if we were vaccinated. I said, no, we're not. She's like, well, you know, I'm older and I just, you know, talking to my doctor, I'm nervous about being around others who aren't vaccinated. And she gave her reasons. You know, she chose to respond to the situation and deny a dinner with us, an opportunity to connect. And for the most part, just stays in her home, right? So that was scenario number one. Another scenario, awesome neighbor of ours named Stan. He's we see him all the time, and he always says hi to us. And I think he's about 70, always riding his bike around. Same thing. He was so excited. And just the other day, he came up, and which was funny because he came and walked up to us and was like, you know, within 3 feet of us having a conversation. Honestly, I think it was his wife who kind of talked him out of it. But he's like, you know, I just want to let you know that we've been in this house for 52 years. And you're the second person ever to invite us over to their home and have dinner with you guys. And I've been in this house 52 years. And because of choosing to respond in that way of like, oh, well, you know, he didn't even ask us if we're vaccinated. They're just like, oh, because COVID is out there, we're going to deny this opportunity that came for the second time in 52 years because of fear, anxiety, everything around COVID. So you have to ask yourself, okay, if you're going to make these decisions, what are you risking, right? For Stan, it was an opportunity to connect with people for the second time in 52 years to have this neighborly connection. And he's given that up just for the fear, the small chance or likelihood that maybe by coming to our house, he might catch COVID, even though they're still, going to the grocery store, doing whatever they got to do. And that's what we have a responsibility to make decisions on, is that we have an ability to respond in any way that we want. We don't have to respond how a big authority is recommending, whether that's the CDC, whether it's the government, whether it's your parents, whether it's what somebody says is the religious thing to do. You have the ability to respond in any which way that you would like. That's a beautiful thing about life. That's a beautiful thing about, living in the United States, at least for right now,
Only
because
if you
it's
keep exercising it.